All right, here we go. So this is the People Management Practices Project. We are the Business Busters. My name is Caspian.
My name's Trevor.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Joe.
So, intro and background. For our interview one day after class, we interviewed Susie Plummer. She manages 50 people. She has been working at the University of Washington's shopping center for 22 years. She is the executive vice president and general manager. She works in the retail industry, and she has been on Seattle Mets magazine as Seattle's top most 100 influential people. Our manager's duties include setting organizational policies and budgets. She also manages employees working at her locations in the retail industry.
And I would like to mention our group kind of came to the consensus while we were interviewing her and when we were done about how good of a manager she seemed and how well her company was run. So it took us a long time to come up with a suggestion that we found was feasible. Um, so. So our if-then statement that we did decide on was that if I give my workers a fun environment with clear boundaries, then my workers will enjoy work and feel more motivated. The if part of providing a fun environment while also creating clear boundaries will help follow Maslow's hierarchy of needs by fulfilling psychological and social needs, and the environment created will contribute to a feeling of safety. All of this will create the then because the workers will feel their esteem needs are met and self-actualization will manifest in the form of workers seeking new skills and challenges, creating even more motivation and efficiency. So with the workers having more motivation and room to grow in a healthy environment, workers tend to enjoy their work more when all those needs are met and Maslow's ladder has been built.
So, in the clear description of our suggestion here, in the action, our practice will look like a stronger unity between management and employees. Our manager can demonstrate her belief in the integrity of the workers by saying things like, I know you all understand that we need to park in our designated areas. Corporate wants us to implement these new standards. I really appreciate your understanding. I know this may seem obvious, but no taking work snacks home. Really, just showing the fact that if management were to make the fact that these new standards are coming from corporate. If they were to not have corporate, they were just to construe the fact that they are giving these standards, it might create a layer of distrust between them and they might not be able to unite as well as they could.
Definitely. And I think our goal in this is to help the workers come together as a unified force against like a common conceived threat.
As for the thorough analysis, this particular practice illustrates a people-oriented culture. This leads to affective commitment, which means the employee wants to be committed to the company. This is done by encouraging efficiency and effort with incentives such as hosting free lunches at work, sporting events such as paying for employees' tickets to Sounders, Seahawks, any games, along with choice and control over certain aspects of their jobs, such as decorating office spaces, along with personal desks. By doing these things, the company is able to decrease withdrawal behaviors, leading to an increase in commitment and improving the overall synergy between management and managee. This company also shows how people are the most important asset to them, which implements a healthy and stable work environment. Not only does this create a sense of mutual respect throughout the company, but it leads to a sense of stress and belonging, knowing that you aren't just a replaceable part. The stability-oriented subculture, which can be defined as predictable, rule-oriented, and bureaucratic, can also be seen in this practice, which can be expressed by the rules and regulations being enforced while also providing an incentive as to help them be followed. Overall, this practice can be very effective in leading to overall satisfaction and enjoyment of the company, but also promotes a healthy relationship with management with higher superiority.
So our team's overall evaluation of the implementation of our if-then practice is that it would be greatly effective and beneficial in uniting employees, building a trusting environment where everyone feels that they're really working together towards a common goal. This will help create a strong work culture where trust is not only an espoused value, but an enacted one too. And with that, there will be a boost to motivation and therefore performance, and it will eventually create artifacts or visible outcomes from a healthy and trusting environment where you can walk in and experience and see and feel all these people trust each other and they enjoy working together. Um, our group also we were having a little bit of a thought where it was like, is it this work culture? Would it be that work culture? And we kind of decided it would end up being a hybrid culture with aspects of inclusion, where the company wants to create a good environment and they can really show that the workers are valued and they're doing all these things to keep the workers there, that they're not just these disposable assets. Um, and then it would also be a team-oriented culture because there's an emphasis on cooperation and these new rules or suggestions that we're talking about here would all be for and emphasize cooperation between the employees, but it would also be stable because it would be rule oriented, where all these rules that the employees are now following are, instead of saying they're coming from me, your manager, they're coming from corporate, where I'm more one of you and we can do stuff about this together. So with that, it would be a more stable culture because it's rule oriented, stable, and efficient. But again, it would still have aspects of team oriented and an inclusive work culture.
Yeah. So, our recommendation, it was really hard to come up with a recommendation because our manager was just so good. I'm honestly surprised she didn't make Seattle Mets top 50 list. Anyway, so her approach to verbal warnings is counterproductive to the people oriented culture our manager is trying to build. In a people oriented environment, people are meant to be treated with respect and dignity, and setting boundaries to stop people from abusing the perks she offers makes it seem like what is expected of them is to abuse boundaries. To expect employees to act deviously is neither respectful nor dignifying. Our suggestion is to use a trick that Professor Kanoff taught us. Um, he was telling us after the money activity that a good way to do it would have been to unite against the professor. And we're kind of imploring that logic, but we're going to unite against corporate. I think that it would it would build a better team. It would also conserve the relationship between the workers and management. It can give the workers and management something to bond over. It would also decrease the perceived distance between management and workers, making them all feel more unified. It could also create a counterculture where everybody's all jokey about corporate and everybody bonds over how much everybody hates corporate, and that would be good for their business.
Definitely.
Anyway, so this has been our presentation. We are the Business Busters.
Yeah. We just want to
Thank you
say
very
thank
much.
you. I think as a group, we can all say we enjoyed your class. I think we learned a lot. We grew a lot as a team. We definitely strengthened ourselves. We did have our issues here and there. There's a visible one that you probably noticed right now. But we've definitely worked our ways around that. And I think that we've come up with some really good suggestions and implementations here. So thank you for your time. This has been our presentation.
Sweet. Thank you.